If statements, switch statements, a solution to the Day 5 challenge of the 21-day coding challenge by Lighthouse Labs.
There's been some discussion in the forums in regards to my use of the switch statement over if statements. Let's take a look at the two possible solutions for the Day 2 challenge using if and switch statements. Knowing that the two methods solve the exact same problem, take a moment to pause the video and examine the code. Which of the two looks better to you? This brings me to my first point. Switch statements and if statements can solve the same problem, but the one you should choose should be the one that's more readable to you, meaning it can be a personal preference. Take a look at the Day 3 challenge solved using an if and switch statement. Once again, knowing that the two methods solve the exact same problem, take a moment to pause the video and examine the code. Which of the two looks better to you? Some will claim that switch statements are more performant, but don't let that sway you from picking one over the other, unless it's an actual issue. If you're asking my opinion, I'd solve both the challenges using switch statements. In both cases, we're using the same variable and comparing it to values. Whenever there's a variable comparison repetition, such as name equals this, this, or that, I'd opt for a switch. If you're making comparisons with multiple variables, such as fruit equals orange, fruit equals apple, and color equals red, I'd opt for an if statement. In summary, use either. Whatever one looks best to you and is easiest for you to understand. I spent a lot of time this morning troubleshooting my proposed solution to the Day 5 challenge. It's perhaps why this recorded solution may seem a little bit more elegant. It came down to a problem with my for loop. Instead of writing for stations of stations, I used for stations in station. It's these tiny mistakes that can cause problems throughout your code. To troubleshoot this issue, I included console logs of the stations array before my loop, after my loop, and a console log of the station inside the loop to see what was going on. Sure enough, I could see that I had the correct array starting off and an empty one inside the loop. In retrospect, I should have included this troubleshooting in this video. To solve the challenge, I used a familiar day4 syntax and looped through all the elements in the provided array. Since these elements are an array themselves, I created variables, assigning them to the respective index. I use conditional statements along with ands and ors to check if the capacity is greater or equal to 20, as well as the venue type being a school or community center. If this criteria passes, I push the name of the station to the array appropriate voting stations. Finally, I return this array and test my code to success. I hope you enjoyed the Day 5 challenge. We'll see you tomorrow.